One of the things I always like to do when starting a new card game is find the best aggro deck. It allows you to set the baseline for what you expect all the other decks in the format to at least have to be able to do. You gotta be this tall to ride this ride. And I'm doing the same thing with DC Dual Force. I jumped in and we're just scratching the surface, but I found a lot of success with this particular build, which I'm kind of tongue-in-cheek labeling Dumbsday. Why is the deck labeled that? Well, it's mostly just because it's a funny play on words, and admittedly, I don't really know anything about DC other than the obvious stuff. Now, in this case, I do know that Doomsday shows up and he beats the living hell out of Superman, but that's about as far as my knowledge goes, so I'm not really sure exactly, is he a big dummy or is he not? Here, I can tell you this much, he certainly is a big dummy that punches stuff good. Now, my DC ignorance aside, let's talk about the list itself. So this is mono orange, and I've actually really liked mono orange compared to, say, orange purple with inmates. I, up to this point, haven't had a whole lot of success, but I'm going to be coming back to that idea eventually. I'm running most of what you'd expect with a couple of other tweaks here that may stand out or not. For example, I am running Man-Bat, which a lot of people don't seem to like, but honestly, a rush body that can clear out early minions if needed, early recruits, or just push damage late, it's fine off the top. It's actually, I'm pretty happy with it. Plus, this helps keep your Arkham inmate numbers up for Clayface, who actually, just a quick comment, I'm not always super impressed with Clayface, but if you can get him early, get him rolling, sometimes he just beats the hell out of things. Whack-A-Man is another one that stands out, but I really do feel that you need some way to interact with the board other than just simply face-checking with Harley or running guys in, because opposing Batmans, opposing Wonder Womans, opposing whatevers will end up presenting issues and clearing out your board, and you may just simply need to remove that thing without running in face first to the wood chipper. Now, after that, the silvers are where it starts to get kind of interesting. Obviously, Jailbreaks. Gigant is a big help, of course, along with Harley's passive. Cupid, I think, is really big. You can control the variance to a degree, and of course, along with Giganta, allows you to activate Adrenaline. Captain Cold is something I'm somewhat experimenting with because of the aforementioned Wonder Womans and Batmans, or to a lesser extent, Aquaman and other leaders that punch things. Maybe exhausting them is worth it. He also presents kind of a big threat on the front end. 5 damage is nothing to ignore. Not super sold yet. Solomon Grundy, however, super great. Unfortunately, not an inmate. Neither is really most of our silvers, which is the awkward part. But you do get some impressive threats out of Grundy. Bigger They Are it was originally in the list, then fell out, and then I put it back in. It's been great lately because ultimately sometimes you just have bodies that you can't punch through. You gotta clear them out. Cheetah and Manta give you some reach. Notably, I don't know if this is a bug, but keep it in mind. If you play Cheetah, then play out the last card in your hand, the Adrenaline doesn't activate, so make sure you sequence it properly. That can be a problem if it's Cheetah and Giganta or Cheetah and Cupid. Them's the breaks. Now, beyond that, Joker Toxin and Bazooka also give you reach along with Manta. As mentioned before, Bazooka's insane. Obviously, off the top, it's just, oops, you're dead. And by the way, because of our leaders bringing them back, you got to keep in mind that each of these, they really can push a ton of damage. Clearly, Doomsday's there for that purpose, but one thing that you're going to want to be cognizant of is that if you off a leader, make sure that you verify that maybe Doomsday can get in for a free 10 on the other leader. Many people panic, try to protect that one that you've been beating up, the one that you were focusing down, and they can't necessarily dodge the Bazooka or the Joker Toxin or the Manta or whatever. And if you can get them with that, and they left the other leader open, get in there. That's probably half their health, maybe more. But that's enough about the deck. Let's jump into some games from the live stream, which, by the way, if you're interested in seeing some DC Dual Force live, check out the links in the description for my Discord, my live stream, and oh, by the way, likes and subscribe. But as always, everybody, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and Black Lives Matter. Zatanna Green Arrow went 500. Zatanna Ivy Spells went 6 and 4. But I think those could have gone either way. And then 6 and 4 with Shazam Cyborg Bolts. We're up against Batman Cyborg. This is something that I wish they would fix in the UI. I can kind of squint and see who I'm up against, but they really should show you what's there. We're going to get rid of Trickster. Our turn 1 play can be Partners in Crime. We're going first, so that represents potentially a whole lot of damage. The Mr. Freeze draw is pretty good. I don't want to play Two-Face on 1 because you really want to get value out of Two-Face. Ozarius, Killian, what's good? If we get one here, we'll probably play Kite Man. So there's no sweeper that I can think of this early. They could be running, like, Batarang, but... like, main deck Batarang, I mean. And sure. If you do that, you got me. And if they have double Batarang, I'm just going to lose my mind. But what are you going to do? They're going to Utility Belt. Honestly, I don't know about running it with Batman, but I had some success with the Cyborg. Of course, they do have Batarang. Well, they got it off at the... that is not the one you hit. Well, maybe you do it as Hunter. They got it off of the Utility Belt. Alright, so we're going to lock down Bats. Play Zaz. We're almost at Adrenaline already. Like, we can have Adrenaline next turn as long as we don't draw one of our golds. Because I imagine we're going to have to run in part of our team. Now, one thing that I made a mistake there, sort of, is I clicked end turn really quickly. Now, if you watch me play Phobies, you know I do that, and I end up missing turns. You really don't want to do that with this deck, because I have lost a few games offline where I killed somebody, didn't attack with Doomsday, it charged Doomsday, and I could have one-shot the other leader, or something very similar. And I just kind of botched it as a result, so... So we're going to Two-Face here. That's not what we wanted. So we trade here. You go here. This is a dead Batman. Which, like I said, now we charge up Doomsday and say, get wrecked, Cyborg. Kapow! All of a sudden, he's at half health. A little bit over half health, but, like, you get what I'm saying. Now, despite this insane start, they could literally clear my board right now. If they play Recruit Green Arrow, they wipe out every single thing on my board and leave a 5-2, and probably play a second body. So, like, this seems super impressive until you realize, oh, they can still do stuff. They're on 6. They're not going to be KOing my leaders anytime soon. They're probably going to have to use it to control the board. That's hidden. That is not... Right? You just dead? I guess not, because they're going to kill something. Fair. Otherwise, that's 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, you would have been dead. Alright, we can't play the bigger they are, which is unfortunate, but, I mean, it is what it is. So we gotta clear the evade, and we go face. Put you at 3. I will have Ivy, or excuse me, Harley live this turn. And we have the bigger they are, which I had run in a lot of early orange lists and then cut it, and I've been coming back to it, and I'm really happy with it. Like, sometimes you just can't get through a thing, and, you know, whether it's shield or whatever, and now I can't get rid of this card. There we go. Like, because of shield, because it's just enormous, because of whatever, and it just clears the path, and Doomsday comes in and punches them. Like, look at this. They have evade. They're dead anyway, but... well, now they're dead multiple ways. Like, we would have killed this if we... No, actually, they would have lived at 1, because we would have had to crack the evade, run a body in plus Harley to clear the Robin, and then we would have had no further damage. So not live in 1, they would have been a 3. I was thinking 1 more attack from one of the 2 attack guys, but it doesn't matter. We would have been able to clear the blocker, clear a path, and then just punch face. Checking for alpha as opposed to alphanumeric or something, but it's kind of annoying because oh, this will be a good test. I specifically wanted to have like version 1, version 2, version, you know, stuff like that, and I can't, which is annoying. Silvers are going to go away. I don't mind having some of these. We're going first also. I'm just updating the spreadsheet. I don't mind any of these, to be honest, but I clearly don't want silvers to... I have to get out to a good start. These are fine top decks, any of them. It might be worth keeping one, like, the bigger they are, or Cheetah, because they could be playing a more aggressive list out of Batman, Wonder Woman. And if they are, that means that the bodies aren't going to get as big, therefore the bigger they are, less value. However, it's entirely possible that that's not the case, and they're going to end up with something entirely different, and they're going to have enormous bodies, and therefore, bigger they are, more value. We're going to hold freeze. We probably just run Punchline out here. And we'll block with Kite Man. I feel like a lot of people lean towards protecting Kite Man. I mean, he is a hunter. He can get in when they have blockers, so I understand. Punchline isn't as relevant here because of the firepower. It's more relevant because of the lethal, but she's going to trade 1-for-1 with like everything this early anyway. And we probably want to trade out both of them or just get value out of them as quickly as possible because, guess what? They're going to Batarang. Shocker, I know. See, like, this is good. If they don't have a Batarang here, I can at least clear this thing. And otherwise, I maybe not never be able to remove it, but it's going to be exceptionally difficult to remove. And we're going to have... we will have Adrenaline next turn. Now, this is a little risky, putting Trickster out here. We could have held it for next turn. The reason this is risky is if they have a Batarang, or Harvey, or well, Batwing would produce a Batarang, but, you know, some other effect, they could ping away Kite Man and then allow Wonder Woman to connect with Trickster, which is less than ideal for obvious reasons. We'll see what they do. Hey, what's good, W's? A little hydrate action from Orzeus.
May the gods grant us their favor.
So this is obnoxious, because we're not going to be able to clear this safely, unless we get lucky here. And unfortunately, we can't play the bigger they are right now. It is possible this hits her, which would be super obnoxious. We have to choose the card. Which is a little weird, given that, you know, why not just, like... Why not just discard the only card in hand? I think we're just going to go where we can go this turn. It's possible we should have cleared her, run these two in, and then hit the bat. This way, it means that Wonder Woman is dead to a top-decked bazooka. Batman's in range of potentially getting bazookaed to death. We'll have to see. Obviously, we can power up Doomsday relatively easily if we can take down Wonder Woman. They're probably going to put a bunch of effort into protecting her. We'll see how this goes. The big question is, do they want to face check something? Because they face check anything with the bat, and they, unless they have a bandage, they are going to, they're going to be in bazooka range. Alright, Gordon's problematic. Yeah. Awkward. Super awkward. So they do want to go for Trickster. It's fine, I guess. Oh, they had to bandage. Oh, they're going to heal her. Okay, fair enough. We may end up losing this, chat, because we're kind of out of gas unless we draw well. Alright, so... You go here. We have a 50-50 on Whack-A-Man. We whiff. Womp womp. This does have 6 power now. That matters. But it will be 3 power on their turn because of Adrenaline. Black Manta's very relevant. Obviously, just nukes here. Depending on what we draw, we could get both next turn. Like, if we top deck the Bazooka, both of them are just dead. And we do kind of have to close this game out in quick or short order, because the longer we give Batman, the more bandages he's going to find. And that will draw them out of burn range. I mean, it's possible that they're going to continue to preserve their minion health. Although I'm not really sure why they healed her on that turn. It's likely that they just aren't thinking of Bazooka, is my assumption. Which, admittedly, there's only 2 in here, so there's a lot of chances that it's not Bazooka. Yeah, we're gonna have to direct damage them to death. Oof. That's not good.
May the gods grant us their favor.
So they should probably just face check here. Like, there's really no reason not to. Amygdala also is a problem here because we can't guarantee what it's going to hit. You know, like, even if we find a way to... Ooh, okay. Okay, so now a top deck Mr. Freeze kills her, not just Black Manta. Although the problem is we need to basically get both. I don't think we have any way to clear her. Because we can't just, we can't find the bigger they are. That won't do anything. Alright, so no longer Mr. Freeze. Grundy, huh? So what we can do is clear this. Like, we set this up to kill Batman out of hand, essentially. Oh, no, wait. Are they? No, never mind. Never mind. So we Manta Wonder Woman. We Doomsday. We Harley. We cross our fingers. I wonder... Okay, so I didn't think of this until after I played it, but if I played Grundy and then I replace it, does that activate his parting shot? I don't know how that works. Because that could, like, the Grundy token immediately can attack. Game. No, it bugged. Game! Oh, come on. Alright, so Batman's supposed to be at 4. The game bugged. Batman's supposed to be at 4. And we would have won, chat! Oh my god! Oh, that is so tilting. That is... If they don't bandage this turn, I'm counting that as a win, chat. I know it's not actually, but, like, the game bugged. Although this is part of the problem right now, is it's difficult to determine, okay, did my opponent make a misplay? Did they actually whiff on whatever? Or did the game bug? Fair. So we're going to learn whether this works. We're about to learn whether this works. Okay, so that doesn't activate Parting Shot. Huh. Interesting. That's good to know for the future. That's good to know for the future. So Batman's at 2. We have 4 outs in the deck. No, we have 6 outs in the deck. We have 2 freeze, 2 bazookas, and 2 Joker toxins that can all go face right now and kill him. If they bandage, then we're down to 4. I don't think there's any other way that I can win this turn. Actually, we may just be dead. Yeah, we're dead. Which is super frustrating because the game bugged. It might have been better to play Clayface here to guarantee another turn. Well, I don't know if it would have guaranteed another turn. I'm still counting that as a win, chat, because the game bugged. Oh, good. We get another one of these. I do want to run up against this matchup. That. It's updating the spreadsheet. Alright, what do we got? We go second. We're gonna keep Jailbreak. Whack-A-Man could be valuable if they don't play Antiope, or whatever the 3/3 with Aura is. We're going to keep Whack-A-Man, but this is one of those where, like, it could be very good, it could also be horrendous. Now, don't get me wrong, I think the Batman-Wonder Woman matchup is not good. Watching just to make you mess up. I mean, I do that on my own. Streaming in general, like, if 0 people were watching, it's still distracting because you never know when somebody's going to tune into the stream, so you still have to operate under the assumption that there's people there. So it's a little bit weird talking to myself into the void, but realistically, that's what I'm doing when I'm streaming anyway, right? There are just so many chunky bodies. The main deck Batarang. Got him. I don't know, Batman seems cool. Batman is one of, if not the best leader in the game. I have my own tier list going, and, like, yeah, it's really good. So we're going to clear their board. Admittedly, not, like, in a way that I'm super thrilled about, but especially because we're not pushing damage. But yeah, right now to me, the tier 0, S tier, top tier, whatever leaders are these two, Batman and Wonder Woman, our opponents too, that is. Batman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman. If Batman is the best, why aren't you playing him? Because there's nothing on the line. There's nothing on the line. Man-Bat is a reverse version of Batman. Yeah, you're going to have to ask Atona. Atona and DT are our resident DC experts. I know virtually nothing about DC. Comic books in general. So, like, every time I come across a character, I'm like, who the hell is this? This is also going to kick us in the junk chat, for the record. It's hilarious, because right now there's someone in the Discord bitching about Aquaman. What about it? What, that it's not good enough? Because that would be incorrect. Like, that's just wrong. You should be playing Marvel Snap. If I hated myself more. You don't know Man-Bat? Wow, can't even... Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've heard of Man-Bat before, but the only thing I vaguely remember, like, 90s Batman cartoon, Man-Bat being arguably a monster of the week. Aren't those the same thing, DT? An expert and a nerd? What exactly is the difference? By the way, we're getting demolished in this game. This is the worst matchup in general, like these leaders, but then also this particular version of this build is very bad for us. And I realistically don't know how we're going to stop any of this. All right, so we get a Clayface for what that's worth. I I think we have to Doomsday her, which seems kind of bonkers. It's very much a thanks I hate it moment. We're gonna play one of these. Does it matter? Yeah, we'll play one of these. So we have to Doomsday this, which makes me hate myself a little bit. I might have clicked too quickly on this. We'll see if it bugs. Okay, it didn't bug this time. If you like strategy games, Marvel Snap is good. I played a lot of it and I've streamed it. Is this... In this game, you have everything? No. It's a more traditional card game. There are packs, so you have to then build a subset, a deck, to bring with you. Think the WoW TCG, Mythgard, Hearthstone, or Marvel Snap, Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! I could list games for a very long time. I don't like Marvel Snap. I've talked about it before. The game does exactly what it should be doing. I think the game is designed very well. I think the game is designed in a way that will make me hate it. Which I kind of do. I just don't enjoy playing it. To be honest, I could enjoy the game more. However, Marvel Snap, the biggest issue I have is the collection gain. It just, you spend way too much time having starter decks, and the game is therefore boring. To me, anyway. I understand why people like it. And I don't want people to be like, oh, well, Chomp says this game is terrible, so it has to be bad. If you enjoy it, enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with that. Notably, for anybody out there that's picking up this game, Adrenaline does not work. If I sequence that differently, if I played Cheetah and then played Kite Man, sorry, I couldn't think of his name for a second, Adrenaline will not work. I don't know if that's a bug or not. Marvel Snap is too much Ben Bro design, and I swear he's enough. Yeah, I've said it before. I like Ben Bro. Ben Bro, I don't know him, but he seems like an alright guy, and I think he's pretty much right all the time about his game design opinions. The weird thing is he'll identify a problem, and then his solution, I don't agree with at all. It's no, I don't want that. Well, who wants that? But apparently someone wants that, so they're going to clear our board. They run this here, they run this here, and now I'm in deep doo-doo. Man-Bat is a scientist that specializes in bats. He tried an experiment to restore his hearing that involved bat extractions. I don't really know how that works. Yeah, I mean, sure. And it worked in restoring his hearing, but it left him kind of like that. So it's kind of isn't the lizard from Marvel, or whatever the Spider-Man bad guy, similar to that? I don't know how Killer Croc became Killer Croc. I'm actually curious about that. Okay, so we can clear this with Doomsday, Harley, and then play these two, I think is the game plan. Because otherwise, I mentioned this in the other game, Parting Shot does not activate if you replace the body. I had assumed and hoped that it would kill it, and therefore count, but it does not. So we will get our adrenaline trigger. See if Harley bugs. It's because I'm clicking too quickly, chat. I'm not even joking. I can't... You can't activate stuff while the animation's going off. Killing me. Killing me. Alright, so Batman should be at 9. Dual Force pay to win? I think that's yet to be determined. I mean, every card game has a pay-to-play level where, if your collection's not at this level, someone with a better deck will beat you. But once you're all at relatively even collection levels, it's kind of the same. That's game swap level of frustration for me. For this, yeah. Well, this is the hardest thing, I think, for DC Dual Force is that it released a real beta. It's it's in open beta right now, but it's an actual beta. There are bugs. Like, there's problems with the game. That is not how games will release buggy, but not like this. Not this level, not typically. So we can only play one of these. I think the 7/7's more valuable, to be honest. There is a chance that we Cupid here and then top deck a bazooka and just go nuts. But that's just not... We're living in magical Christmas land. So this will produce another Solomon Grundy. This is why I was checking earlier whether I could replace with the parting shot, because if you can, you get a 5/2 with ferocity, rush, haste, speed, whatever the hell it's called in this game. DC Dual Force's problem is that everyone else does it wrong. I mean, yes, but if everyone, like, we're talking not just developers, designers, but like the game playing population also, is expecting A and you do B, that's still your problem. In this game, they should call it bats and not bugs. We're driving things batty. That's a big Aquaman. Because they got a seahorse. That's the worst possible one they could have gotten right now. Well, maybe it's not the worst possible one. Yeah, it probably is. Probably is. That's actually not a good spot for Arkham Guard, although it doesn't matter because my board is clear. Because they could have had a second blocker there. Top deck, bazooka. That's not a bazooka. It is, however, a Clayface. So Clayface will be a... 4/4? Oh, 5/4. Is there any way that we can... I guess we do this and block. We're not going to activate Harley because there's a chance that we could use her just to clear something next turn, and, like, I don't want to suicide her in because we want cards. All we have to do is find Bazooka before they get another bandage, or Truth and Justice or something. That's not Bazooka. It's not Bazooka. But yeah, the fact that the devs released a buggy beta should not inherently be bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, it sucks to lose to bugs and stuff like that, but it's a beta. Admittedly, I put in money, so it's like, what did I pay for? But I knew going in that it's a beta. But it doesn't matter if that's the quote-unquote right thing. The reality is that everybody is expecting something else, so it's not going to go over well, right? That's really bad. Victor Zaz is not the answer we need. I like it. They're giving lots of free stuff to compensate. Marvel Snap was stingy with theirs. I don't know. Like, I didn't get into the Marvel Snap beta. I only played it post-launch. They are giving stuff, but that isn't fixing the issue. It's just somewhat ameliorating the problem. They really just need to, and I'm stating the obvious, they just got to fix the bugs. Like, that's the thing. I think that the compensation extra was introduced because they don't have the crafting set up. and they don't have the daily logins set up, and they don't have all of the other reward systems set up. So they understandably were getting pressure from people like, hey, what gives? Just leave me with bodies and we can get there. Yeah. So these two run in. We activate Doomsday. Got him, chat. Got him. We win an honest game against the best deck in the format. The B-Diff. So here's Bazooka for everybody that was curious because I kept talking about it and I just never saw it, but we're going to throw it back. I could keep one of these, but I'd rather try a mulligan for Jailbreak. I didn't see whether we're going first or second. To be honest, almost all mobile games do that in terms of collecting stuff. Yes, but Marvel Snaps is more egregious because it requires such an enormous time investment that I just don't have. And the game is not, to me, the game is not fun until you hit the better cards. Like, all the interesting, fun cards where it's like, oh, you want to do this cool thing? Well, like, for example, I tried to build a move deck. Exactly what it sounds like. The idea is you move your guys from location A, B, or C to another one. In order to get the pieces for move, because you start out with like one move card, Nightcrawler, and then you might get another one later on. You don't get most of the move cards that do anything besides literally moving until way late in the collection. At that point, then you start getting, oh, when it moves, it does this other thing. Or when you move, trigger all these other abilities, and then do this or that. And it's at least more intellectually stimulating. However, that is true for basically every archetype. Instead of like, imagine every phobie was Razormouth. And then it was Razormouth, but bigger. And then it was Razormouth, but even bigger. And you never had any abilities. No traps, no terraform, no lobs, no flying, no burrow. Like, all of those abilities were gone. Everything was vanilla. That's what it's like playing Marvel Snap early on. Which is fine, but I found it just exceptionally boring. Snappy isn't even interesting with the most interesting cards. Locations are stupid beyond belief, and the game would be infinitely better with 3 blanks. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I could accept if the game had simply 3 like every game for the season was one of 3 locations, or just like they constrained it somewhat and got rid of the like super high variance ones, like Ego, and there's another one, like the one that replaces your deck, the one that plays the game for you. Those are stupid. Like, they should just straight up not exist. This doesn't really matter. We're just playing these so we have bodies on the board. It would have been nice to play Freeze to lock down Batman. We're going to play this back here because they could get an arrow that could clear our board. Should be awkward. Even the random discard randomly loses a player of the game. I agree. But I think... Hey, Devil D, thank you for the follow. I missed that earlier. I agree, but I think it would be less bad if it didn't... Like, that one's... While you have ones where you literally cannot play the game, that's not even a concern to me. Like, yes, there will be games that are won and lost on the basis of that location. There's also locations that say you literally can't play the game. Like, that's insane. I know what you're saying, but Phobies gives you Gravedigger and some good stuff at the beginning. Yes, but Marvel Snap does not. That's what I'm saying, Bader, is like... You can get them in Marvel Snap, but imagine if you couldn't get the interesting Phobies in Phobies until you hit Sum of All Fears 3. Like, you just literally were not allowed to get them. You couldn't get them out of packs. You can't get them in any way, shape, or form until Sum of All Fears 3. Like, that's the level we're talking about. Now, the way they defend it is that the cards, like, because you can't sink money in, there's quote-unquote no pay to win. 'Cause, There's air quotes no pay to win in Marvel Snap because you have to grind it. But that means if I start playing today, I've never played before, which I have, but like pretend I never played before and I start today. I can't play with all the fun stuff for probably like a year. Not in, which is, to me is worse than Phobies. Phobies, yes, I am way behind and I'll never be on Alien Engineers level unless I put in money, but I could if I put in money, unless I was grinding, maxing out every day for a year. But I could still play fun games because I could get packs and get something interesting out of it. Now, this is not really a defense of the pack system, but like, you get what I'm saying. In Marvel Snap, you can spend money, but I don't think it does anything for you. No, I don't think I'm exaggerating. Like, I've been playing Marvel Snap on and off, and I think it took me like 6 or 8 months to hit the final tier. And that means now I just have the chance to buy something. You can get trash skins. Yeah, that could help accelerate. That's a fair point. I know people in real life that have spent thousands of dollars on Marvel Snap. And I cannot fathom why, to be perfectly honest. You have Slammerhead now? Nice, W's. And don't get me wrong, we're playing DC Duel Force, we're not playing Marvel Snap. Honestly, there's a reason for that. I enjoy this game way more. But if I don't want to, yuck somebody's yum sort of thing. I'm not trying to piss in your Cheerios. If you enjoy Marvel Snap, more power to you. Like, great. I'm happy for you. Shout out to my friend spending a few thousand on Lost Ark and Diablo Immortal. I tried Lost Ark. I just could not get into it. I have not tried Diablo Immortal. I don't think I ever will. I don't like playing games on my phone. Now, that's not me crapping on their announcement of like, don't you guys have phones? Because I could crap on the announcement, but I'm not going to. We're just going to play both silvers. There's an argument to hold this and surprise them. Just be like, surprise, gotcha. But they don't have Bat Up this turn. They don't have Arrow. Although, to be honest, I don't know if... I haven't been paying attention because I was looking at chat. I don't know what arrows they played, like how many arrows they've played. So they could have an arrow to just nuke her right now, which would be bad, but... I won't yuck your yum, but Marvel Snap is sushi in a world of delicious tacos. I mean, yeah. I guess you're saying that if you paid the game, you'd not get the card you want, but Phobies in the other side, if you get lucky, you could unlock a tractor. If you were 100% free to play, I think you would have more fun playing Phobies. If you are paying, I think you would have more fun playing Phobies. I mean, that's fair, Luffy. If you prefer sushi. Did you see the discussion in Discord? I disagree with Atona that I think Marvel Snap has the potential to be a fun game. I was in general. People were just talking about food that they can't stand. Oh, bad guy. I have bad news for you. Exaxes? I assume he's screaming destroy, but I legitimately don't know what he's saying. I don't know why it let me do that this time, because I realized I was clicking too quickly. Low spending is fine in Phobies. I agree. I mean, whatever you want to spend in a game, the value judgment for a game is difficult person to person, because it's of course going to be based on, oh, bad guy's in bad shape now. It's going to be different person to person, because playing a bunch of games free to play, playing one game free to play, putting a bunch of money in and whaling it or not whaling it, somewhere in the middle, it's all up to you and the enjoyment you're getting out of it. I just don't enjoy Ben Brode games. I learned that in Hearthstone. I gave it a second try because I think it's worth trying it again when Marvel Snap came out. And if Ben Brode goes on to make a third game, I don't think I'm going to play it. Like, I don't think I'll need to experience it, sort of thing. I mean, unless it gets super popular and I'm roped into streaming it, I guess. I think next month, once the I think once next month rolls around, the pass and dual force would be worth it. When is Zod supposed to come out? Isn't that next month? All right, so they did have this. They're going to clear our board. He's one of the cards on the pass. Okay, so how does it work if you don't get it out of the pass? Does it just go in? I wonder why they didn't kill this. I guess because Gordon can run in, or they can deal with the next turn. Are they just dead? No, it's close, but not quite. Get bazookaed? I should not have played this in the front row. I just made a big mistake. So they're going to get an arrow this turn and probably be able to clear these. They could easily get an arrow that allows them to clear it. Like, I might have just thrown. We do still have double Mr. Freeze, 1 bazooka, the deal 6 at random. Or something I'm not thinking of, but I obviously can't think of it. You can craft it with atoms. Well, I have a ton of spares, so as long as they introduce crafting at the same time... See, this is why I shouldn't have done it. I could have played that in the front row. You have to stagger your plays front and back row against Green Arrow, or you get blown out like this. That's a good idea, W's. Play some async games just to get more familiar with things. I just don't like async. I prefer arena, but I mean, it's fine. Whatever you enjoy playing, basically. We win. I know I said don't play him in the front, but it's irrelevant. Get Doomsdayed. Got him. Realistically, the hardest part of this build is just running up against things that are might. Anything red is a disaster. Like, it's an absolute nightmare because all your bodies are 1 attack too small. So, like, you'll have Man-Bat, but then they Wonder Woman Antiope, or whatever her name is, and she's a 3/4. So then you face check, and then you have to face check with Harley, losing out on a card, but then the Minotaur that's there is now a 3/5, and you'll just never remove it without sacrificing 8 cards. It is possible to win, because if your opponent is too aggressive with their face checks, it's possible for them to just get in range of burn, but it's still difficult to do.